Welcome back, guys, another video. So we've been blessed and cursed with 30mm more rain. I put all the figures for the week up so you can see them. Pause the video if you want to study them. We didn't really need that much rain, but it's also good for our 8 fairway. I hope you've enjoyed all the video updates we've put out on this. And as you can see behind me from a distance, these fairways, the results speak for themselves and they almost look stunning. If you get a bit closer, there's definitely some more work to be done. But progress is progress and we're super happy with how they're coming along now. In terms of the weather and course condition, we've got to bear in mind that we had a super dry summer last year. We went into a very wet winter. We had a bit of snow around and very deep frost in the ground. And the conditions were very difficult to manage, and golf, was probably not as enjoyable as it could be. Coming into this spring, we've had even more rain. I think if you consider all aspects of how we're trying to manage this, the course is shaping up very well, and I don't think we've really got any complaints right now because we've done all we can and it's shaping up nicely for the season ahead. But there is also still more work to be done. So this week we're juggling a few jobs around. Obviously with the wet conditions, we've done some of the jobs that we can do in the wet conditions. Stuff that needs to be done in the dry conditions we're putting on hold until next week, where temperatures and sun might arrive for us, which will be more than welcome. We've cut almost everything once this week, a couple of things twice, and there's a few areas we've had to leave. So if you do find yourself in long rough or long grass, just know that we thought it was best to leave it and not cause any more damage than we potentially already have out there. That in mind, I have to say the boys have done such an excellent job that I couldn't be any more proud of them actually, because they've navigated this wet conditions. There's a couple of them that aren't very experienced and the damage is pretty minimal, if I'm honest, and if there is any damage, it's going to recover very quickly in these conditions. If I'm honest, the only one that made a real mistake was me today on the fairway mile. I actually cut an area on the 13th fairway I shouldn't have. I did try a little bit and thought I could get away with it, but I didn't. So, everyone makes mistakes, and we quickly went and repaired that after, and that'll be recovered, within a week or so. So that's nothing to worry about, and it's lesson learned, I guess. Pop the stimps up for you now. You can see the stimps for the week. We've been rained off a couple of times where we've not been able to take measurements, but the most important one is Friday, which is today. We've got 9 on the common green, so that's the 11th green, and then a 10-4 on the 16th, so jockey field, so that's the sand-based green. Two differences in those greens. Reason for that is because the 11th holds a lot more moisture, it's clay based, and they're not growing as much as the sand based greens at this moment. So next week when the weather dries out, these greens will then begin to firm up and then we can start balancing these out. But right now we've done everything we possibly can to get these performing well and get the course performing as well as possible as well. So good stuff on that. We've also done a couple of small jobs, so we've done a lot of strimming, tidied the 10th tee, tidied the entrance, tidied the garden. We've also replaced the stones in the patio as well, because they loaded like muddy material on top and the water wasn't penetrating through, which can lead to long-term issues for the clubhouse building as well, so that's been done. We've also trimmed and blown off all the steps out on the course and tidied up the mats as well. And then we've also today, we haven't done it yet, but we're about to, is move the 9th post on the 9th tee. It was identified in a CDG meeting as a health and safety risk, so we've moved that to an area where you can actually visibly see it when you walk onto the tee. It's a bit in your face, but it's health and safety, it's super important, and it just reminds people that one person from each group has to watch the road as you tee off. So we discussed multiple locations to put this sign, and we decided that this was actually the best place for it. You can see on the picture there's a path edge if you look to the left of the post where it is now, and you can see my beautiful little green line that I've drawn on my phone. We hope to install a raised path edge similar to 18 and 17, so we then can keep them tee banks alive and stop trolleys going up them, as the original path edge is just worn away completely. So we'll have a slightly larger path area, slightly less tee bank, but then in the long term it'll be a nice little mini project to do hopefully next winter program. We're chopping and changing a lot. We're just doing what we can in certain weather conditions. We've also begun repairing damage on greens. There's a video here I'll pop to the side where it shows a method that we use called the turf doctor. So you take a plug from the practice green we use, so that's kind of our turf nursery, and then we will replace that turf with the damaged turf on any of the greens. This video in particular is from the 13th green where we had some mold damage. We've also been cracking on with bird damage. Well, we've still got a few little areas to repair, but we're just plugging away at that each week. When we've got a spare moment, we just go and flick over that with some root zone and seed as well.
Hello everyone, please come and join us and volunteer for the Divot Day on Tuesday the 25th of April at 1:30. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.